Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video.
Well, hey everybody, it's Joe and I am back out here at Giga Texas after a wonderful trip down to Starbase over the last week or so. And I went down for flight 7 of the Starship, and it got several delays along the way, but I was able to use that time to meet up with a lot of special people. We had a Cybertruck gathering out on the beach with the Starship kind of overlooking us, and of course that was a great event just to get all of those Cybertrucks and all the people that own them and a lot of other Tesla owners and fans of SpaceX and space come out and just enjoy some time on the beach and see a lot of those Cybertrucks all lit up. And while I was out with the Cybertruck guys, they decided to have an impromptu event and I got surprised and they gave me this. It's the honorary mayor of Cyber Beach, which is that beach of the Starship that was on, that we did all those light shows. And I really am amazed at the quality, the craftsmanship, but also just the thought that went behind that to present this to me. And I just want to say thank you to the Tesla Club members that put this together, and it's something definitely I will cherish for a great time to come. And just the amount of memories was amazing. And of course, also I got a chance to see a lot of the operations of getting the Starship ready for that flight. They had a D-stack, and of course a couple of these shots show you what it looked like with the ship on the ground next to the booster as they were doing some additional works and preparations. And then later on we got that full stack back, and it was just really a great sight to see with it all ready to go. After a bit of back and forth, they finally got a chance to fly. Fortunately, I was able to hook up with Ellie in space, and we had some really great photography and videography thanks to Scott Carr and Scott Balcom. We were able to do an amazing live stream and see how that flight went. Of course, the booster did extremely well, and having it come back, see that catch and experience in real life was definitely something that I recommend you come out and see if you get a chance. And I'll show this really quick clip of when the booster was on its final return and the sonic booms and the reactions that we had during that event. So it's really pretty cool. It's right there. Okay, the booster's getting close to the of the exhaust from the liftoff. We can also see the hot staging.
Here it comes. It's coming in hot.
Down.
You got it.
Now the booster is going through the clouds. That's those clouds.
Oh my God!
All right, here it comes. We're getting some of that heating.
Oh my God!
That friction heating because of the atmosphere.
For the boom.
Tail end of the ship or the booster.
And
so the engines are not lit yet, but it is coming down quite
It looks
quickly.
really fast.
Wow.
Very, very fast.
Fast. Okay.
There's a shock wave.
Here it comes.
And
It's
we
got
should
to
see
go
the
to
engines
4.
very soon.
Dude, that looks really
Come on,
fast.
there's the engines. There's the lights.
Yes.
Come on! Slow it down.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Awesome! All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
That's maneuvering over towards the chopsticks.
What the?
And it's coming
Oh my
down.
God.
Oh, is this real?
It's
Oh my
coming down.
God. Yes. Yes.
It's cool.
Woo!
So that gives you kind of an idea of what it was like. Of course, just being there in person was amazing. Today, I am, as I mentioned, back from Starbase after all those activities. We're here at Giga Texas a day before actually a big winter storm is coming through. It is already very cold, as you can tell, and because of that, not a lot of activity is going on, but this is a great chance for me to fly around and show you what is going on here at the factory today. And a couple of things that are highlighted here in the intro, and then we'll get into the video. First, the Cybertunnel. Looks like that covering structure is virtually completed, and it's much more substantial than when I left about a week or so ago. And these images here give you a great idea of what it looks like. It's really ready to go. They are using it full time now to move vehicles, and the area over on the factory that they used to have that exit point for the Cybertrucks is now completely under construction, so it's unusable. So the only real way that they have to move vehicles over is through the Cybertunnel right now. And we also get a chance to see kind of an update on what's going on with the glass installation on the south end extension. And it's completed at that parapet wall and wrapping around that southeast side. So that's getting really close to being completed. In addition to that, I was able to see that Cybercab testing is continuing today. And I'll give you a quick shot here of a couple of the images or video that I have of that going on. And I got pretty much a full circuit of the testing around the main factory. They were also doing some of the testing over at the die shop and battery cathode plant, and I'll show you that as well. But a lot more to see in the video, and we'll get into that right away. It was just great to be able to be down at Starbase, but I'm glad to be back here at Giga Texas, despite the fact that we have a very major winter storm just about to hit. As always, thank you very much for your support. I very much do appreciate it. And again, thank you very much to the Cyber Club for this great honor. So let's get into the video and let's see what's going on here at Giga Texas today.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas. Well, it's great to be back flying at Giga Texas. We're starting off on the west side over that material staging yard. Kind of good view of that far southwest corner. And we're going to fly over that west warehouse on wheels. I'm heading over towards that south bridge. You can see two cranes on either side of the highway, both of which are working to install these kind of cylindrical structures. It's part of a intercept system for a sewage line, and this is going to be serving this part of the site. This is what it looks like today. They have all that form in place, and it looks like some rebar as well, and they're working again on both sides of the highway to tie this all together. On the roadway, not only do we see all of the markings, but the forms for the lighting system are in place. Looks like a lot of the concrete's been poured for that base, and soon we'll be able to see the lighting system installed here. But of course, what everybody wants to see, and I was very interested too, is what is the situation with the tunnel and the covering for the Cybertunnel. And this is what it looks like, and it's great, almost complete. This stainless steel is wonderful. It's very shiny. We'll get to pick up a lot of that as I maneuver around the tunnel itself. A great view of that overhang and the tunnel within the driveway, and just how this entire structure is nearing completion, what its final form is, or at least very close to that. And I'll try to bring the drone up a little higher just to give you a great view of how that sun glints off of this stainless steel, what the rear tailgate kind of looks like as well. And of course, all the way around this site on the ground where they had those 9 kind of piers in the ground, looks like that has been covered over and removed. We do see that kind of Faraday cage with the electrical equipment, and the rest of the system looking really great. They have also paved this part of the outbound lot. Kind of suspected this was going to be the case before we headed down to Starbase, but it looks like this is getting close to being completed. They'll have the lighting system put in, and then they can expand that outbound lot. Speaking of the outbound lot, there are some Cybertrucks, a few of the Model Ys, but just really not a lot here. And what I'm hearing inside the production line is that the Cybertruck production line is essentially stopped here for a moment as they do some upgrades, as is the Model Y line. And there may be various reasons for that, but I know a lot of people are wondering, do I see any of the new Model Ys out here on the lot? I do not right now. It just looks like some more of the original or the current versions of them, but rumors that I'm hearing, and I know other people are hearing as well, is that they may be opening up orders for the new Model Y soon. If that's the case, then we should start seeing Model Ys that are refreshed being produced here at Giga Texas. So definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. But I did want to show you what the outbound looks like here today. And with the production slowed or paused, we really don't see very many of the new cars. And again, we'll be monitoring to see what's going to happen here over the coming week. Now, with the winter warm weather coming in, it may be a little bit of a challenge to see what's going on until later in the week, and it may also impact whatever production they might have in store. But as I maneuver towards the 8 tenths for the superchargers, can tell that really there's no activity. There's really no vehicles underneath the tents being supercharged, just not a lot at the moment. So I think this goes along with many of the rumors that we have heard. So I'm going to maneuver the drone up over the end of line facility. We'll fly up towards the north end. And as we're doing that, we can look across and see that the flags are still at half staff. I think that's still because of President Carter's passing away. But soon those should be raised back up. And as we continue to fly over the end of line facility, we'll note that on the north end, no real activity going on as well. And then as we cross over into this dirt section with the silt fence, this is where that natural gas pipeline was installed, all of which is now buried and passes along the roadway and near where these two tents are, and this material staging yard all the way up to the north where they have the terminal that has been installed. So I'm going to fly up towards the north, kind of give you a great view of the factory from this perspective. Then we'll cross over the highway and I'll resume the narration on the other side. One of the things that I wanted to check on was the repairs on the roof, and you can tell all of these striped lines are where they have reconnected and rebonded the weatherproof membrane to the underlying insulation layers. And it looks like about 3/4 of this is now completed. This allows them to remove all of the bricks, which you can see are being stacked together, and then this will be completed. They won't have the leaking or the kind of the delamination that we've been seeing in the winds. These bins show that there are a lot of recycled cans for the 4680s, so they are doing a lot of production work inside that 4680 section of the building, which I think is a positive sign. This new entrance is getting much closer to being completed. All the concrete work, the stairs, and those accessibility ramps. There'll probably be some landscaping in those triangular sections. There's another section of concrete on the ground that had been cut out and the concrete replaced. We're going to continue to fly along the west side of the structure to the south. What I'm looking for is whatever activity, if any, where the Model Ys would be exiting the factory, and that's coming up on the left-hand side of the screen where that black ramp is. As you can tell, there are no Model Ys. There's nothing really going on here. The receiving doors are still waiting for the load levelers, but the rest of that is completed. And on the right-hand side of the screen, we saw some display vehicles next to the flag poles. So I'm going to continue to fly to the south, and we're going to get down to where this temporary platform is located. And as you recall, there was the exit point for the Cybertrucks that was being used for the last, I don't know, probably better part of a year for the Cybertrucks to exit the factory. Now, as you can tell, there's a lot of construction next to this temporary platform. The exit point is no longer usable. In fact, this entire section is no longer usable for new vehicles to transit. So that is where that tunnel comes in, and they are using that for the vehicles that are being manufactured. Of course, as I mentioned, the production for the Cybertrucks is essentially paused right now, so there's not a lot of vehicle traffic. We do see work on the glass. I think they're putting all of this plastic up because they're going to be doing the stain work on the concrete wall panels. We also see glass deliveries on these transport trailers and in the crates, and all of this is going to be used for the final section of glass on the east side and to finish up this opening that we are passing. On the south end, the paving for the road has still not been completed. We do see the defined path for that roadway, and we also see that curb. And another is a great look at the glass end of the building as I maneuver the drone. And of course, those 3 exit tunnels and the walkway. I'm going to pan the drone back over towards the south bridge and fly back over towards where that crane is. I wanted to show you what the work is being done on this side of the highway. Again, this is related to that intercept system for the sewage system. Another one of these large tanks is being installed. Before I left on my trip to Starbase, we saw them repositioning some of these power lines around this section to allow them to do all of this work. And I'll continue to monitor to see how this looks. I'm going to turn back towards the factory. We saw a Cybercab on its test route. We're going to see that all over the site. In fact, as we pass over the fork in the road, I'll just mention that I'm going to be doing a standalone video with a full test track of the Robotaxi, just because it's too much to add to this particular video, but we will see some of that over by the die shop a little later in the video. As I continue to maneuver towards the southeast side, you can tell that this corner has got all the glass, including the glass parapet wall, completed. And this is another great sign. There's only a small section of the east side that is still waiting for the glass to be installed. On the right-hand side of the screen is that cooling plant. Looks like 2 of the 6 fan units are being used right now. Also, that plastic on the ground floor remains, and it looks like there's some earthwork being done near some of those risers on the ground. A nice look along this side of the building where the glass still has to be installed, and that angled corner of those concrete panels is how that entire architectural treatment is going to look. This is what the roof of the south part of the extension appears like today. I did see some of the Unirack mounts for additional solar panels being laid out, so we may see some solar panel installation resuming in the near future. So I'm going to pan the drone over towards the east, give you a great view of this part of the site. One of the things I did notice is that the River Road extension that goes in the center towards the right of the screen has been blocked off on both sides. Both of them have these kind of dividers on the ground level, and also some of those cones that you can see. So it looks like they're going to be doing some paving work on River Road. We do see the earthwork along the base of the cooling plant. That may be one of the reasons why they put that plastic wrap, is because of all that dirt work. As I zoom in, it's a nice view of the fan units, that section that still needs the glass, and this new wall section that has had the white stain installed. And I'm going to pan the drone back up to the north, and we'll take a look at what this side of the factory looks like, all the way over to the multi-level parking garage. The privacy fencing on the ground floor east side of the multi-level parking garage is still there, suggesting more product testing is underway. You can also see the barricades for River Road off to the left, and also this intersection that is going to be completed and then join in with Robotic Avenue. So all that work appears to be underway right now. In addition to that, this is a nice view of the material staging yard with some of the materials that was used in the south end, also some more of the stormwater management pipe waiting for installation. As I pan to fly up towards the northeast, we'll take a flight over the East Warehouse on Wheels and some of the contractor trailers that remain here. And we also see that some of the yard trucks are idle today, waiting for production to resume, and a very large delivery coming up on this trailer, which has a kind of a tarp over it on the bottom left. As we get closer to the die shop and battery cathode plant, a few things that kind of stood out to me that have changed since the last flight that I did. First of all, near the crash test facility, we see a lot of trench work underway, and I believe that all of this is related to more underground stormwater management pipe that is being installed. You can get a good sense of how this trench work is going around the contractor trailer, also the mechanics room, and the fenced-off section of the crash test facility. Now, all of this is kind of necessary to try to do a management of all of the rainwater that happens in this area and to control the mud and just the rainwater runoff that happens through here. Hopefully this will be the last of the major construction on this part. We'll see the asphalt installed, and then the rest of this can become fully operational. But as we're here, it's a great look at the trench boxes for that stormwater management pipe, the crash test facility, the north end, that little shed that has the flying floor for crash testing, the wade pit, and of course the cell testing lab, and how this section of the site appears today. Further up to the top of the screen is this large clearing, some of which is recycling going on for old concrete, some of the stormwater pipe, concrete vaults for underground systems, and some materials on the right-hand side of the screen, including that stainless steel kind of a tubular item that I'm still waiting to figure out where it will be installed. Now, as we approach back to the battery cathode plant, I did notice that a Cybercab is underway for testing. So I'll zoom in. You get a good view of what this looks like. And it's being chased today by a white Tesla. And that is used for testing and validation of what the Cybercab is gathering for data for its training to further improve the FSD that is being used for the Cybercabs. So pretty cool. We'll see more of that here in a moment. But I wanted to stop at the chiller plant, show you what that looks like today. The plastic is wrapping around the bottom floors of it, kind of being kind of tormented by all the wind with the cold and winter storm on its way. I think a lot of this is going to be shredded off the plant, but we'll see how that survives later in the week. But a great view of how this section looks today. More of the materials being stored on the north end of the die shop and next to that external furnace with that pitched roof section. We do see the berm is being widened even further, and through this section we have had stormwater management pipe installed. They may be preparing to do more. The rebar that we see on the ground, I believe, is going to be used for a new reinforced slab that is being constructed on the inside of the die shop near that large roll-up door. So I'm going to pull back and give you an overall view of what this side of this site looks like today. We see those trucks getting ready to pick up dirt to transport it away as they widen the berm. More of the stormwater management pipe is being stored here, waiting for installation along this section, I believe, and how this section is encroaching into the former Martin Marietta batch plant on the right-hand side of the screen. We do see another Cybercab driving on this part of the site. This is one of many of the training routes that they use. So as we fly along this widened berm, I'll go ahead and zoom in, give you a view of what this Cybercab is doing right now. I wasn't sure if it was going to be turning right or left, so I'll keep the zoom in until we see that it's going to proceed over to the die shop or the battery cathode plant. So I'll zoom back out and give you this overall view. And of course, on the ground is where Tesla Road is being prepared for its extension to the east. So let's proceed up towards the electrical switchyard and see what the changes are in the last week since we last looked at this area. We see that crews are busy at the A-frame doing some additional connections related to the high-tension wires, and also the third transformer has been significantly more assembled since the last time we were here. And not only do we see that large tank for the oil that is used for cooling of the transformer, but a lot of more of the electrical components, including the disconnects, have been installed but not yet connected on the top. Also, more of the steel items on the south part of the site for that transformer have been erected, and some of the cabling has been installed. This third new control trailer looks like it's getting assembly work on the inside, and of course this large section just to the south has had many more of the screw type piers installed. In fact, they're doing some of that installation today, and I'll show you one of those in action. But this is what the overall layout of this graded section appears like today, with all of these screw type piers. These are normally used to support some of the superstructure, but it's not necessarily really heavy superstructure. And we have seen this in several sections before around the site, and they also did something very similar down at the lithium plant near Corpus Christi. But this is how the screw type piers are installed, and the work is underway here to finish up one of them. You can see that kind of the drill being extracted from this borehole. But as I pull away, another overall view of how all the piers look today and this graded section. Hopefully they'll be completing all of these piers here soon, and we'll start getting a better idea of what this is going to be and how it's going to appear once it is completed. So I'll pull away, give you a top-down look at this site, and of course over towards the megaplex and the downtown Austin. So let's proceed over to the northeast side of the main factory and take a look at some of the changes with the baghouse filtration plant. Zooming in, a view into this part of the structure for the melt plant on the right-hand side of the screen. We also see a lot of castings and rack mounts, and more equipment has been installed into the baghouse filtration plant, including some structures around the stainless steel tank on the right-hand side of the screen, and some more items wrapped in plastic on the ground level. So I'll bring the drone up to a higher altitude for you to get an overall view of what this site looks like from this perspective, and we'll zoom back out, and I'm going to fly over the power lines and give you a kind of a bird's eye view down at this structure and some of the work that is undergoing right now to finish up that one section near that stainless steel tank that I had mentioned. We also see a few other changes. A lot of the conduit along the roof line has been completed. Last time they had some of that laid out for final connections. And then here's a nice look down onto the baghouse filtration plant with more of those pipe connectors, also kind of the centrifugal cones that are used to separate some of the heavier items out before it gets into the filtration unit. And here's a closer view of this roof section with the conduit on the racks on the right-hand side of the screen, following that parapet wall all the way down to the Cortex supercomputer cluster on the south end. And it looks like this part of the installation is nearly completed. On the north end, this casting, managing, and sorting lot, it's about, I don't know, half full or so. It looks like they are continuing to produce some of the castings, even though the Cybertruck production appears to be paused at this moment in time. We also see more of the rack mounts and castings on the right-hand side of the screen, and I'll give you a closer view of that here in a moment, but I wanted to come back in at a lower altitude and get in and take a look at the inside under the cover of the melt plant, and some of the activity and the equipment and some of the materials that are being stored here on the ground next to this structure. So I'm going to stop the drone here. I'm going to turn it, kind of pan it back around, give you some views underneath the cover. You can see that furnace loading system on the left with that large bin for some of the materials that are loaded into the furnace. We see other items and some of those tanks labeled 3, 4, and 2. Not sure exactly what those are. The blast wall that has been installed, and some more crates and other items that are stored on this section. As I fly back over the canopy, it's a nice close-in view of some of the rack mounts and the castings that are being held within. And then on the bottom left is that open section of vaults where the final connections of the cables that go up to the roof and then follow that parapet wall all the way down to the south. Looks like there's a new small tent that has been erected here next to that door on the left-hand side of the screen. And then where these 3 receiving doors are, they have a new covering that has been added since they completed that new concrete apron. And a bunch of other items, rack mounts, and some of these blue kind of trailers that are being stored here on the north end. And this is the 4680 cell portion of the factory and how this area appears today, with some materials but not really a whole lot, as the interior work is well underway. So that'll bring us to a close of this view of Giga Texas today, ahead of a major winter storm. And again, it's great to be back here. I hope you enjoyed what we were able to see and talk about. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care.